Vaulting and climbing has been super frustrating in this game that I'm working on. My favorite games like Sifu, Mirror's Edge, they all make vaulting look super easy, but I'm I'm just kind of hitting my head up against the wall on this one, right? So, what we're doing today is I'm talking about the progress that I've made on the game thus far, and I'm gonna be breaking down my current vaulting system. I'm just gonna give y'all a high level breakdown of how it works. I'm not gonna get super technical in these videos because that's not the point. There's plenty of tutorials out there that'll give you what you're looking for if you're looking for technical information, and I'll actually link those in the video when I put it up on YouTube. I'm gonna explain where I'm struggling, and I'm gonna ask y'all what y'all think, and then I'm gonna just give y'all a brief summary of what to expect for the next one. So, without further ado, let me give y'all a quick update too. It's been over a year since my last devlog. I did do a devlog that outlined this project. I worked on it for a bit, then I got distracted. But now I'm refocused, and I'm sure you've heard that story before, but the goal here is to just do weekly updates, no matter how much or little progress I've made with this game. So, the concept of this game was it was going to be hold on. The concept of this game is that it's going to be a stealth-based platformer. That's it. Keep it plain and simple. Stealth-based platformer. And my design pillar, one of my design pillars is to have a fluid movement system. So I'm spending a lot of time working on vaulting. So let me just show you what I've got so far and explain how it works. First thing you'll notice, what I've done here is I've implemented an 8-way directional movement system. I just really like the 8-way directional movement system. Sifu is what made me fall in love with it. It's just it feels like a really easy way to be precise with your movements and to do exactly what you want to do. So enough of that. That's pretty simple. It's pretty easy to put one of those together. So in order to vault, you got to figure out 3 things when you're going in for a jump, right? You need to figure out, is there an obstacle in front of you? And if there is, how tall is it and how deep is it, right? So what I've been doing is I've been firing a line trace from about my character's, it's about his thigh, right? And basically, if that line trace hits nothing, it's the red line on the screen. If that line trace hits nothing, we just do a normal jump, right? But if that line trace does hit something, it looks like this when it hits something, it immediately casts 2 more line traces. One straight forward from where it hit to see how deep the object is, and one that goes directly up from where it hit to get the height of it, right? And based off of that information, we determine what to do next. So if we have a short obstacle like this, we play an animation to just simply vault over it, right? But if we have a tall, thin object like this, that sit and spin animation won't work. So we got to play a different one. We got to go up and over the wall, right? And lastly, if we have a tall object that is too thick to just climb over, we got to climb up onto it. So we play an animation that puts us up on top of the wall. Now, all that is plain and simple, and it's pretty straightforward to do in Unreal blueprints. If you haven't studied line traces yet, they're super useful. I'll link a video that gives more of an explanation on line traces. But everything after figuring out the wall height and the wall depth, the thickness of the wall, becomes something that you have to customized to fit the animations that you're using. Because since every animation is different, you have to tweak the player's position on the fly to make the animation look right. I believe that that's called snapping. So one thing that you should notice in mine is if the player is too far away from a wall, get a little bit closer. If they're too far away for the animation to just look normal, it actually moves them, so the animation plays smoother, and you'll see it skip a little bit because my code is snapping a player to the location, right? So this is where my dilemma is right now. And here's the question that I have for y'all. This is a matter of how forgiving this system should be, right? Because we're not perfect. Our timing's not always going to be perfect. When your timing is perfect, it looks great. But when timing isn't perfect, I want to have some sort of compensation to make it feel a little better, right? But I'm not even convinced that that's like the right way to be going about doing this, because there's plenty of games out there where this is just a binary. You either got it or you didn't got it. You either got it or you didn't get it, right? An example of that is like any Grand Theft Auto game. Everybody's seen the memes. You run up to a wall and you jump. Just plays a normal jump animation. It looks goofy, right? To me, I think it looks goofy because the player's intent might be to vault over something, but because they didn't get it, I just broke it. It's the game showing a different outcome than the player's intent, right? And I feel like for a game where a fluid movement system is very important, you got to minimize that, right? So yeah, that's where I want to hear your opinion. Like, how forgiving should something like this be? Some things that I've tried so far are adding a timeline to smooth the movement when a player tries to jump from too far away from an obstacle. I can guess, or I can make an assumption that they're trying to vault over the obstacle, and use a timeline to smoothly move them to a position where the animation will play much smoother. The problem with that, though, is you're taking control away from the player for a specific amount of time every time, and I think it kind of breaks the immersion a little bit. So I don't think I like that solution. The other thing I'm actually trying right now is using v-interps to smoothly transition the player instead of just having them instantly snap to the locations that they want to be at. The problem with this is, I guess, like, I tend to sometimes I've already made up in my mind how it should feel, and when it doesn't meet that expectation, it really throws me off too, right? And sometimes the player will just kind of drift through a wall. I haven't figured out how to replicate it exactly every time. Player will just sort of drift through a wall instead of actually performing the animation because of that v-interp there. So I think there might be like a race condition at play or something, but I'm not really sure what to do with it. That's what I'm working on right now. Let me see if there's anything else. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how much leeway I should be giving the player with this snap to, and how lenient should I be on having precise timing, right? And yeah, maybe there's a chance I could be completely overthinking this. Like maybe snapping 2 doesn't look as bad as I think it is. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Like, I think I might be teleporting the camera as well as my character mesh, and that might be why it looks so jarring. I might need to just make sure the camera doesn't snap with the player character and have some sort of system in play that compensates when the character mesh is snapped and the follow camera just kind of catches up to it smoothly over time. So there's a lot of different things that I could try. I'm not really sure where to go next, but I do know next week, however much progress I made, I'm stopping. We have something that's functional, and we need to start working on wall running. So next stream, I'll break down how I'm gonna do wall running, and I'll show you what I have. And if you're catching the VOD of this, if you're watching on YouTube, I invite you to come watch it on Twitch. I record these videos live on Twitch. They're not as polished as other people's videos are, but hey, we're having fun. We're playing the Resident Evil 4 remake. Yeah, that's it. That's the update. As always, let me know what y'all think. Give me some ideas, because Lord knows I need them. Lord knows I need them.